On February 10th, 2023, this little indie title called Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy will release. Yeah, I don't really think anyone is really that interested, honestly. But for us nerds that grew up reading, watching, and most importantly, playing through all of our Harry Potter fantasies, this game is the biggest thing to happen to us since the Deathly Hallows released. But let's talk about its foundation. It's been so long since the last proper Harry Potter game that there are many people who will pick up Hogwarts Legacy without ever having played a game set in this incredible universe. And that's just sad, because for those of us who sacrificed the sufficient time with friends and other useless muggles, we remember this absolute gem. This is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, the greatest movie or book tie-in game ever developed. And we're revisiting it now, because it's the foundation that all future Harry Potter games should be built off of. Its incredible atmosphere, surprisingly fun gameplay, and attention to detail means that this game is as close to a true Harry Potter gaming experience as we've ever had. Plus, and I cannot stress this enough, the nostalgia of opening this game for the first time hit me like a train. Oh, the menu music. Oh my god. So let's do it. Let's revisit Harry Potter's greatest triumph just 1 month before the biggest game in the franchise's history releases. I'm Griff from Catch Filtered Cans, and this is Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. So I started streaming this game on Twitch, which is why you can see my dumb face on screen here. If you want to hear the words coming out of the aforementioned dumb face, you should follow Griff from GA and watch along. Oh no, I can't get the bean. This is heartbreaking. So one of the things that jumps right off the page when you start the game is where you start the game. A long cutscene brings you from the Dursleys, a meeting with Dobby, Diagon Alley, a confrontation with Draco, and a flying car ride where you almost get hit by a plane. All the way to the front steps of Hogwarts. Our play starts as we try to avoid crushing death at the hands of a particularly ornery tree. One of the remarkable things about this game is that it actually is built off of its predecessor. You start with several spells that you learned during the course of the first game. I make a note of this for a very specific reason. In Hogwarts Legacy, you will start as a 5th-year Hogwarts student who, I imagine, will have some spells already at your disposal. What was great about this game's implementation was that you used the spells you knew early in the games. You learned their abilities and how you could use them in different situations. When we move on and learn new spells, you use your first few charms as a basis for everything else you do. It sets the foundation early for a spell system that may not be deep, but has a lot of possibilities. So, we rescue our boy Ron, who will have to file an HR complaint against this tree, and make our way through the labyrinth that is apparently the Hogwarts grounds to get into the castle. We cast Defendo at some suits of armor, Alohomora at some chests, walls, and weird lightning-shaped crags and bricks, and even use a gargoyle to activate our Lumos spell. We make it to the castle, and instead of getting chewed out by Snape for nearly destroying this tree everyone cares about, we just meet up with Hermione and talk to the fat lady, who only acknowledges Harry for reasons I cannot even fathom. It's at this point that I have to point out the obvious. The music in this game is among the best music I have ever heard. Not only does it capture the essence of Harry Potter better than any cutscene could in 2002, it basically apparated me straight into my childhood. Nostalgia is a powerful tool, but overuse it and all you have is a cheap imitation. Playing this game now is perfection when it comes to that nostalgia factor. I could sit here and listen to this music for hours on end, remembering my own childhood and how big a piece Harry Potter was in it. Remember, for many of us, Harry Potter was our introduction to the fantasy genre. The idea that anything we can imagine can become a story with life and characters and a message that resonates comes from art like this very game. Harry Potter as a franchise is not legendary because it told the greatest story or had the greatest characters or any of that. It's great because it captures our deepest desires to imagine a world different from ours and how that imagination can help us every day. Okay, enough with that. Let's throw some gnomes around. Yes, we traversed the absolutely not OSHA-approved flying staircases to get to the Defense Against the Dark Arts classroom to learn our first new spell, Rick DeSempra. By the way, this Gilderoy Lockhart character seems extremely qualified to hold the job he currently holds. I have a good feeling about this guy. So, we traverse the Rick DeSempra challenge, avoid the red crabs with a digestive problem I think even magic can't fix, and come face to face with my biggest childhood fear, the giant orange snails. Oh no, not the snails! These eyeless, slithering, acid-spitting demons haunted my nightmares as a child. Even as an adult, I pictured these things lying in the deepest pit of hell, reserved for murderers and people who talk at movie theaters. But these snails have met their match, because we have CFC content to make, damn it! So we bravely bypass the hell-spawned slugs and collect the stars to escape from the massive cavern that apparently exists at this school. Oh right, we also have to solve a Lockhart-themed picture puzzle, which once again proves his competence for this job, and we had to stop off to play a quick rhythm game to really get the hang of this spell. Oh lord. Oh my god. Add it to the arsenal! It's shortly after this magical lesson that we learn the first harsh truth of the Harry Potter universe. The Bertie Bott's every flavor bean trading economy is absolutely brutal and unforgiving. 218, did the price just go down? Wait a minute. Hang on a second. It will chew you up and spit you out and leave you in a pit of your own despair because the fast world of Hogwarts never stops churning. Okay, so what actually happened is this bean tossing bastard jerked me around when all I was trying to do was buy my chocolate frog cards for my collection. Okay, basically we swapped some beans for chocolate frog cards and I spent entirely too long waiting for the price to go down. Yes, while you were all at work, this is what I did. But the good news is that I now have all of the cards of the Weird Sisters band members, some of whom are apparently deserving of a silver card instead of a bronze. If you ain't first, you're last, I suppose. We then end up in the Bean Room, a fantasy created in the head of a 7-year-old me that somehow ends up in this game, and in my stomach, which is why I look like I do. Hey! My bean strategy was on point. That just goes without saying. Oh my god, why is it launching the beans? Woo! We stop off for a little spot of Quidditch, where I find out that I'm about as good at flying a broom in this game as I am in real life. Which is to say that in both endeavors, I look foolish and will probably end up taking a broomstick to a very unfortunate part of my body. Maybe things will be better when we switch over to playing the old Quidditch World Cup game. I don't know. They call that a tease in the business, by the way. We go to potions class to be insulted and berated by Snape before we find a cat in a not safe for YouTube position on a candelabra. These events may be happening out of order as compared to the book, but no matter, we get the idea. Harry hears voices, a cat is petrified, and Filch is really not happy.
Blasted Potter, I'll get...
Time for another spell. Just like any good 12-year-old, we nullify the trauma of a hanged cat and blood writing with some hard studying. Hit the books! This time, we're learning Scourge, a spell I can only imagine was thrown in at the last minute when the devs figured out Green Goo Be Gone doesn't sound very Harry Potter. Regardless, we learn its uses while being laughed at by ghosts and throwing more gnomes around. On that note, by the way, please enjoy these gnome throwing highlights. Oh. Can I hit? Oh. I'm having so much fun with these gnomes. Yes, I did show that for a reason. One, if you didn't crack a smile at that, you might actually be Severus Snape and you should probably seek help.
Obviously.
But two, it's important to remember what Harry Potter is. It's not a hard-hitting, hard fantasy universe built around high emotions and even higher intellect. Harry Potter is lighthearted, it's funny, it doesn't take itself too seriously. It's about magic, both in the universe and in our imagination, like I said before. Harry Potter as a character works because we can all see ourselves as Harry himself in some way or another. We all know people like Hermione and Ron. We identify with the various houses in some way. And we all laugh at Dumbledore talking about earwax flavored jelly beans. The gnomes in this game are a perfect example of the greatness of J.K. Rowling's embrace of fun in her universe. We can only hope that Hogwarts Legacy does the same. So, we learn Scourge, Play the challenge again because I'm a filthy completionist who missed the incredibly obvious slime patches 10 feet away from me, so I missed the last star. We get scared by more demon snails, enjoy another trip in the bean room that I can now traverse easier with the use of my new spell, and hey, by the way, is it safe to keep this toxic green slime around the jelly beans young children will inevitably eat at some point? Well, maybe these are the ones that the bean traders just flip in their hands like 1950s mobsters. Our last act for the day is learning about Polyjuice Potion, a significantly less arduous process here than it is in the books. We head down to the dungeons to get ready to obtain our final 2 ingredients, and we stop there absolutely by my choice, not because I fell into some slime while searching for the floating book that allows me to save my game. That's the only bad thing about these old games, is that you're totally dependent on save point. Oh no! Okay, well, I guess it doesn't matter now. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, one of the great nostalgia trips in history, will be waiting for us in the next video. We've got potions to brew, goons to impersonate, voices to hear, Quidditch to play, and spells to nearly die learning. And if you want to see us work through all of that in real time while experiencing this slice of HP perfection, make sure you give me a follow on Twitch, Griff from GA, and join us for some streams. Otherwise, just make sure you subscribe here, because we've got a ton more gaming content headed your way. We appreciate you all. We'll see you next time around, unless we use a time turner, but those won't be invented till next game, so you're safe. For now. Oh no, he took my beans! The sound he makes. He did steal my beans, though. That's unfortunate.